Hello, and welcome back to Honorable Mentions. I'm Emily Varker,
And I'm Cameron Deschna.
and today I am going to, interview Cam
Yeah.
about a project he is currently working on. So, Cam, why don't you tell me a little bit about this project?
Yeah, sure. So I'm producing another student film. This is actually my third student film. I've helped produce others, but this one's one of the few that I'm directing. So I have a little more involvement than, say, when I help out friends or when I do like odd jobs helping other media people, get stuff together. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I guess I should go into what it's about.
Yeah, so that was going to be my next question.
Gotcha. Yeah. So this one's a little different. I usually do comedies, but everybody always says comedy and horror are very closely tied together, and they're kind of right to that extent. So this one's going to be a thriller, right? It's set in a psych ward about a patient attempting to escape. They're being hunted down by, different people. It's a nice little thriller film. I'll say it's only 5 minutes, very short. Trying to get a lot of impact in a very short time frame, but I have high hopes for it. Yeah.
Interesting. So, how exactly are you going to film the psych ward scenes? Are you going to use the dorms? Because, sometimes the hallways can look a little.
Those hallways are terrifying. So I'm definitely going to use those. But the other places that we're going to end up using, hopefully, are the nursing, what would you call it? Nursing lounge or nursing room?
Lab.
Lab is a good word for it. The nursing lab. So we're hoping to use the nursing lab. That's like you couldn't ask for a better place to film this kind of stuff, right? They got the beds, they got like all the equipment in the background. It would look great. We're trying to go through like the proper channels to get that all set up, but Iona's kind of notoriously slow because film is not something we do often here. So there's not like appropriate channels to go through in the first place. So you're just trying to like make sure, hey, security knows, hey, you know what I mean? Like the professors that like oversee the nursing lab know, and like, everybody's like cool with it. But we'll see, right? Sometimes you got to do something called shooting guerrilla. That is when you just kind of like, all right, we don't necessarily have permission to be here, but it's not like they said no, you can't be here. So
Right.
you film until they tell you to stop.
Exactly. Yeah. That's kind of like keeping on the DL, the down low.
Yeah, do your best to, it's not even that. Like you would love to tell people, hey, I'm filming here. There's no way to tell. There's no channel, right? This is like something Iona does often. So you kind of just go until somebody says, hey, what are you doing here?
And is this one of your major projects for the semester?
Yeah, you could call it that. There's actually a final for a film class I'm taking. So that's in some ways that's major, obviously. But in terms of like things that I filmed, this is probably the second easiest one. The easiest being a chess game that I filmed, which was like a little comedy about two people that don't know how to play chess. Very fun. That was super easy. We filmed that in like a night. We had to do reshoots for a different ending, but aside from that, it was so easy. Definitely the most difficult was I Need Carmen's Everlasting Love.
I loved that one.
Thank you. 10-minute short film. We had to do it in 2 days. Oh, those were long days. Those were like 12-hour shoots each. It drains you when you're on set for that long. You're like everything's constantly moving around, and then we had to edit it in like 3, so it could be ready to be shown in class. So that was a nightmare, but it came out really well, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen well, I've seen some of your projects. I was going to say a number of them. I've definitely seen some of the more major ones. Yeah. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about some of the skills you've picked up in these film classes? Because I remember last year you were telling me a lot about lighting and how for one of your projects you reshot a scene from a movie and you had to try and replicate the lighting. And I believe the movie was Ocean's 11, the dinner scene.
Yes.
And I ended up watching the movie later on, and it was a pretty good recreation.
Yeah, no, we were yeah, I forgot about that honestly, but that was also really tough to do. We luckily we had the guidance of a professor. Shout out to Professor Lebu. He's fantastic. So there's a lot of different things you pick up, right? One of the major ones is like camera stuff. So you learn like really intimately how to work most cameras. While all the buttons are going to be in like different places, you get like a general sense of, okay, I know that the video is a little too dark, so we have to open the iris on the camera a little more. We're outside and it's a little sunny, put the filter on, dial the iris up a little bit, like for instance, Oh, another good like camera trick that I had no clue before, setting the different zoom and focus stuff. Usually zoom and focus are set to the exact same buttons. You got
Mhm.
to separate those because then you won't be able to zoom in and focus at the same time. So annoying. Uh, so technical stuff like that. Then it comes to lighting, and you start to understand what's good lighting versus what's bad lighting. When you're taking like selfies and stuff, you can kind of just be like, "Do I look good?" Right?
Mhm.
That's enough. But in a movie, it's so much more distracting because all lighting is completely fake, right?
Mhm.
Very rarely do you use like natural lighting of any kind because it creates shadows. And shadows are distracting from your film. If you watch a movie, I'm not kidding, unless it's intentionally left in there, you will see very, very faint shadows, despite the fact that the sun should be right overhead and there should be like huge shadows everywhere.
Mhm.
You block out shadows. Light sources usually won't make sense either. Next time you watch a movie, look at when like they're all sitting there in like a dinner scene and they have a candle right in front of them. Be confused as to why there is light reflected like kind of from the right side out of nowhere, just like brushed against their face. There's a bunch of different ways I could go into it, but long story short, lighting once you look at it in a movie never makes sense because it's made to look good.
Mhm.
We try our best to make it look realistic, but there's tons of scenes. Jurassic Park has one actually, famously. You see the light source, moon coming straight in. You go to the shot, right? There's no light from that. There's absolutely nothing. It's totally different lighting for no reason. There shouldn't be any. So yeah, that stuff happens. But yeah, you pick up that. You pick up an eye for like shots and what looks interesting to the viewer, movement,
Mhm.
continuity. You start to like really think hard about, hey, will this flow and make sense? Because another thing, I'm sorry I'm talking so long too.
Oh no, this is interesting.
Give me these answers. I guess it's just a subject I know a lot about. So there's a lot of flow in movies, right? And you're constantly moving, but that doesn't take place in the same area. So let's say we film right now. We're in this podcasting room. We walk out that door. We've actually moved several buildings over, but we're making it look like we just walked out into the hallway, right?
Mhm.
Because of that, though, you have to line up the door. You have to make sure the hallway looks the same if it's kind of in the background of the shot, right?
Mhm.
The lighting within the hallway has to match the lighting within the podcast room, even though it totally wouldn't. And so it's all these things that create a flow. But there's so many small little things that could mess that up, which is where you get that eye for like continuity. So those are the skills I would say that I've really picked up.
Shifting gears a little bit, can you tell me anything about the cast for the movie?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited you asked about that actually. So in previous like years and stuff, I've just used my buddies, people in the class, you know what I mean? Whoever's like available. This year, we're actually doing something really cool. We got a lot of the Iona players and a lot of
Oh,
acting
excellent.
students. Yep. I'm super excited. A lot of people from the play too.
Mhm.
So I'll actually will play a little game. You can guess the characters from Into the Wood, and I will tell you if they are either appearing in mine or somebody else's film.
All right. How about the baker's wife?
The Baker's Wife. Surprisingly, no. I do not think she's participating in this. Um,
Cinderella,
yes, my film.
Prince Charming,
Oh, shoot. I want to say tentatively yes. I don't know whose film he's appearing in, but I'm pretty sure he's appearing in somebody's.
the stepsisters.
Uh, I'm going to say no because I have not heard that they were casted in any of them. But that might just be because they didn't sign up to be casted in these films, right?
Mhm.
A lot of tryouts, a lot of stuff like that. So if I say no to this, don't be like, oh, but I thought they were such a good actor. They were fantastic. Everybody in the woods was. They just might not have had the time to do any of these films.
What about the witch?
Yes. And funny story about that. She was, I think her name is it like Alice Green or something like
Alyssa,
that?
I believe.
Alyssa. Fantastic. Again, amazing work. She was so good that everybody in the class thought that people were going to try to cast her. So nobody ended up casting her.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
we all were like, oh, but everybody's gonna want her, so we'll go for other people. And that created a vacuum. And so she wasn't casted. And our professors told us that. And then everybody jumped in and we had the bloodbath of what we expected originally. So yeah, no, she is casted, which is really cool. Which is really cool. I'm trying to think. Yeah, there's still a lot of people left, but you've not gotten my lead yet, if you want to try.
Ooh. Can I get a hint as to whether the lead is a man or a woman?
A woman.
Okay. Red Riding Hood.
Yes. Her name is Marissa. Very excited to be working with her. My cast is phenomenal. She had so much energy on that stage.
That is true, yeah.
I'm so excited. I also have, there's another, probably if you want to say like the other, like the male lead, they were in the play.
Let's see, I'm trying to think what male characters are left. I can only think maybe Jack,
No, but he was phenomenal though.
the baker.
Yes, Bruno Martinez. Super excited for him as well. They're both going to do phenomenal. I also have a lot of other actors that I think too. I was about to say actors and actresses. I think they all just prefer to be called actors.
I think that's the general term used at this point.
Yeah, which is interesting. But anyway, so I have a fantastic cast of actors, two of which were not in the play, but I'm very excited for them. Isabel Decine, who is part of the players, and Jack Salgado, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. They're also in it. They auditioned instead of being in the play. I was blown away. I'm very impressed by them. Super excited to see what they bring. So really excited for the cast this time around, as well as like production and the fact that, you know, it's a little different from what I do. Yeah, I don't usually do horrors. So feel thriller.
And where will students be able to watch this film? Will there be like a screening? Will it be on YouTube?
Another great question. So yes, I'm going to throw it up on YouTube, obviously. It's going to be called Breakthrough. So if you see Breakthrough by Cameron Deschamps somewhere, that was me. But we're also hoping to have a screening in the business center in that little auditorium.
Oh, that would be great.
That is not finalized yet, so I haven't told anybody about it. But I hope it becomes finalized, and I hope we're allowed to do that, to have a little movie festival, because then it'd be open to everybody, and everybody can come and watch movies.
Definitely. If that ends up being finalized, please let me know.
I will. I'm very excited. So I hope that's the case, but I'm also a type of person to like not get everybody hopes up, or I try not to if like I don't think something's going to come to fruition. And I have not heard a lot about this. It was just something they said might happen. Never talked about again. I don't want to like stir people up, but I hope it happens.
And after this movie, where do you see your filmmaking ventures taking you next?
So right after this, I'm going to go into production for another thing that one of my professors is actually creating. So I'm helping out on his production as more of like a PA, it's like a production assistant.
Yeah.
And then right after that, he has something else lined up, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So I'll help with that whenever that comes out. And in the meantime, I'll be producing this 4-episode miniseries, about 10 minutes each, to throw onto YouTube. So yeah, that's like my projection right now.
And do you think you see yourself continuing this professionally after we graduate?
I would like to continue to make little small films whenever I have the chance, but this I hope is just more of a window into my larger creative abilities, that hopefully allows me to springboard into different ventures. I don't necessarily have like one set career path. I'm very much open so long as I'm getting to be creative and create stories. Yeah. Fantastic questions, by the way.
Yes.
You're doing great.
Last question. Do you have any advice to perhaps future mass comm majors who would be interested in perhaps following something like this? How would they best be able to get started?
The best way to get started. So a lot of things that people don't know, right? At Iona, and probably at your school too, there are cameras that you can rent out, right? So if you have a mass comm department, you can rent out a camera. If you don't, use your iPhone, use something else, and genuinely look up how to write a script, right? Use other scripts for reference. Look up a movie that you really enjoy, right? Try to emulate its style, watch a couple YouTube videos, and then give it your best shot, right? It's probably not going to turn out the way you like it, right? Film is so hard to, even like my productions, I told all my actors, right? I was very formal. They have cast breakdowns, they have call-in sheets, they have like really, really formalized like actual movie production stuff. And I told them all of this is so liable to change that I almost didn't give it to you, right? things are going to mess up. It's going to get messy. That's why it's perfect just to start and run with it and keep creating. You're going to hate your original videos, right? They're going to be trash, but they're the thing that allowed you to make stuff that you're actually proud of. So that is my advice to everybody. Start creating as soon as you can, and just Google things as you go along the way, and you'll figure it out.
Awesome. Thank you, Cameron.
Thank you, Emily.
As always, if you are interested in joining us on the podcast, you can email either me or Cameron. The information will be somewhere on your screen. And yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Onwards and upwards.
See you.